Here is a video of the 1986 Radio Shack Astro Thunder electronic game in action. Slide the power switch to the on position. It has 3 difficulty levels to choose from using the select button. Clicking on the start button initiates a new game. The joystick enables left and right motion. The fire button shoots lasers vertically. I sped up this section of the video so as not to bore you with gameplay. Automatic scoring is displayed on the screen. Here was my filming setup to capture the Astro Thunder's display. I used the plastic bin as ballast to prevent my iPhone on the selfie stick from falling over. I had to reach around the plastic bin to play the game while taking the video. You can see my selfie stick remote to the right of the plastic bin. In 1986, Radio Shack released the Astro Thunder electronic game, catalog number 60-2197. The advertising boasts battle enemy attackers and fiery asteroids. Other attributes include 6 different skill faces, big image display screen, and stereo sound effects. This electronic game, tagged as New for 86, was featured in the lower right-hand corner of page 155 in the 1986 Radio Shack catalog. The advertisement indicates the dimensions of this electronic game, which is 4 3/4 by 8.5 by 7.5 inches. At the time, this electronic game retailed for $39.95. A key feature of the Astro Thunder electronic game is its arcade sound effects, which also can be muted for silent running. Turning off the left sound switch mutes the background music, while turning off the right sound switch mutes the gameplay sounds. Gameplay is completely silent with both sound switches in the off positions. My recently purchased Astro Thunder electronic game from eBay looked to be in pretty good shape, although it had a nasty looking crack just below the battery compartment. For some reason, Radio Shack replaced Astro Thunder with the less sophisticated Astro Command in 1987. The 1986 Astro Thunder has 3D looking vertical play, while the 1987 Astro Command has 2D horizontal play, even though the Radio Shack catalog says 3D display. Testing. I installed the required 4C batteries in the base, then I replaced the battery cover. When I moved the power switch to the on position, nothing happened. This electronic game was completely dead. Repair. In order to fix this electronic game, you must first remove the batteries. The joystick's knob must be removed. First you must remove the sticker, then remove the screw underneath it. Now the joystick stalk can fit through the top of the case when removed. 4 screws must be removed in order to separate the base from the top cover. Next, the futuristic bezel must be removed. This electronic game incorporates a VFD or vacuum fluorescent display commonly used in consumer electronics equipment in the 1980s. VFD displays emit very bright light with high contrast and can display elements of various colors. 3 screws hold the display bracket in place and must be removed. 2 screws must be removed in order to free the printed circuit board. The printed circuit board indicates that Epoch is the actual manufacturer of this Radio Shack branded electronic game. A corner of the printed circuit board had cracked off, probably because the screw holding it to the base was over-torqued during assembly. I superglued the piece in place before proceeding any further. Astro Thunder uses a switching power supply to provide the proper voltages needed for the processor and display. This D882 NPN power transistor converts the incoming steady DC or direct current to pulsating, which drives this toroid transformer. Rectifier diodes convert the output of the toroid transformer back into direct current at the desired voltage levels. A common issue is that this D882 NPN power transistor fails, rendering this electronic game inoperable. I desoldered the D882 NPN power transistor from the Astro Thunder's printed circuit board and tested using my Mega 328 component tester. This power transistor is clearly bad, acting electrically as 2 resistors in series. This is how a good D882 NPN power transistor should look electrically. The new D882 NPN power transistor was soldered in place. I will include an Amazon link in the description for a replacement transistor and the Mega 328 component tester. It is also a good idea to replace these 4 electrolytic capacitors while you have this electronic game apart. After 38 years, electrolytic capacitors lose their capacity as their electrolyte dries up. It is important to replace the electrolytic capacitors with the same capacity and same or higher working voltage. It is also important to observe their polarity when installing. I used my Mega 328 component tester to test each replacement electrolytic capacitor before installing. When working on the printed circuit board, it is important to not strain the wires connected to the piezoelectric speakers, as they can easily break. I also applied superglue to the crack from inside the base in order to mend it without the repair being visible from the outside. Once I had soldered the positive and negative wires, I decided to remove the battery contacts so that they can be cleaned and polished for good electrical contact. I used McGuire's Motorcycle all-metal polish to clean them. I will include a link in the description to this product. I then reinstalled the battery contacts back into the base and soldered the positive and negative wires in place. Time to clean the switch contacts. 2 screws must be removed to expose the printed circuit switchboard. An additional screw must be removed to free the printed circuit switchboard from the base. I used denatured alcohol and an old flux remover pen applicator to clean the contacts. A small amount of Labelle 106 PTFE grease was applied to the switch contacts in order to make them operate smoother. Time for reassembly. I fastened the printed circuit switchboard back to the base with a single screw. The joystick was reinstalled, then the printed circuit switchboard cover, which was held in place with 2 screws. Then the printed circuit board was reinstalled to the base with 2 screws. Next, the display bracket was reinstalled using 3 screws. The futuristic bezel clips in place. The top of the case mates to the base, then 4 screws secured in place. The joystick knob must then be reinstalled. It is secured to the shaft with a screw. A sticker is placed over the screw to hide it. Time to reinstall the batteries and battery cover. Success! My Astro Thunder electronic game is now in working condition. Conclusion. Thank you for watching this how-to repair video on repairing the 1986 Radio Shack Astro Thunder electronic game. I thoroughly enjoy fixing these vintage electronic games. Please like this post and subscribe to Rust Belt Vintage Toy Repair so that you're alerted to my future posts.